Welcome back here to The Hill on NewsNation. Live look right now, Chicago, Illinois, the Democratic National Convention, where Vice President Kamala Harris will speak tomorrow night. Tim Walz, her running mate, speaking in about 4 hours' time. Now, since becoming the official Democratic nominee for president, the vice president has yet to come out with any sort of foreign policy positions. The only thing we've heard from presidential candidate Harris is on Israel, after she met with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu a couple weeks ago. The former President Donald Trump has given a dire warning, in his view, if his opponent were to win. But at least with Trump, you have 4 years of history. You know what he did, what he said, the decisions he made. For Harris, we still don't really have an idea. Joining us now is a Democratic congressman from the state of Massachusetts, Congressman Seth Moulton, a veteran as well, as I always mention. Congressman, thanks for being with us here on the Hill. I think it's a reasonable, yeah, nice to talk to you again. It's a reasonable question to ask, right? We've heard her outline her outline the economic policy, but we haven't on foreign policy. And I wonder if you know what her vision is, because we haven't heard anything.
No, I mean, look, the simple answer is we don't know exactly what her vision is, but I think we have some broad strokes, some things that are very clearly consistent from the Biden-Harris administration, and some contrasts with Donald Trump. One thing that's very clear is the Biden administration understands and agrees with the national security strategy of the United States, which states very clearly that China is the #1 threat facing the United States of America. And she's not going to try to divert attention from that, say, getting dragged into a war in the Middle East. Now, what we need to do in the Pacific with China is deter and prevent a conflict that could literally turn into World War III. The #1 way you do that is saying you're going to defend Taiwan. Donald Trump has already come out and done the single worst thing you can possibly do for deterrence, which is say the United States will not defend Taiwan. So there's an example where we don't have all the details yet from the Harris administration, but we have an idea.
Okay, let me hit the pause button on China. You're on the select committee. I'm going to get there in a second. When should she unveil it? Should she unveil it next week? Obviously, it's not coming tomorrow night. When should she unveil her thinking, her views, the way she looks at the world?
I hope she does it soon, because I think that foreign policy should be an incredibly important issue in this election. Now, I'm a veteran. I serve on these national security committees. You can say I'm a bit biased here, but it's an incredibly dangerous time in the world. And so we need to understand what her vision is. And I do think there will be some significant contrasts with Donald Trump. So I hope she releases it soon.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you about China. As I mentioned, you're on the select committee. New York Times report, the president approved secret nuclear strategy refocusing on China threat. Here's what they report. The shift comes as the Pentagon believes China's stockpiles will rival the size and diversity of the United States' and Russia's over the next decade. What can you tell us, Congressman? What worries you about that? When you saw that report, what was your initial instinct response?
Well, I mean, I understand this very well because of the clearances I have, the classified intelligence that we get sitting on the Armed Services Committee. I actually sit on the Strategic Forces Subcommittee that deals specifically with this issue. And there are two major concerns. One, as the report outlines, China has an enormous number of nuclear weapons that they are acquiring at a rapid rate, a rate faster than we anticipated. But number two, it's not clear how they intend to use them. And there are some real concerns that the safeguards that we have developed with the Soviet Union and now Russia over decades of this nuclear balance of power that have kept us from actually having a nuclear exchange don't exist with China. So this is incredibly important that the administration is focused on this issue.
So let me ask you this. If she were to call you up, hypothetically, and she says, Congressman, what do I do here? What would you tell her?
What I would tell her is that, Madam Vice President, you need to totally rethink our nuclear strategy, because it's just a very different problem dealing with one major nuclear adversary in Russia versus dealing with two.
Congressman Seth Moulton, Democrat from Massachusetts.
Is doing.
Got it. Congressman, thanks for being with us, joining us from our studios in Chicago, just down the road from the DNC. Appreciate you coming on in.